and welcome back to another Toffee Blues video, your source for all things Everton. I'm Louis and this is a player ratings video off the back of yesterday's home draw with Chelsea. Start with the game as a whole, thought it was a fair result. Again, you could argue that we had chances to nick it in the second half. Robert Sanchez in good form, but at the same time, the Toffees indebted to Jordan Pickford once again with some crucial first half saves off Nicholas Jackson on two occasions, I think. So, you know, it's one of them. We're drawing far too many games. We're not quite scoring goals. But if you'd have said after the Man United game that we'd have beaten Wolves 4-0 and drew at second and third in the league respectively, you'd have taken it at the time. So the nightmare December is nearly over, and hopefully we've got through it and we can build on it in the second half of the season and get ourselves away from trouble. But a decent point. So we'll start with the ratings anyway. Pickford 8. I feel like I say it every week. He's unbelievable. Nearing 300 games now for Everton into his 8th season, and you know exactly what you're going to get from him. For all the criticism he gets from outside media and, you know, is he erratic, is he too over the top, he's probably the most consistent goalkeeper I've seen. He very rarely makes a mistake. You know what you get, and like I say, the save from Jackson first half, it's great reactions, but he doesn't gamble, he stays up, he's brave, he's committed when he's flying at the feet of, again, I think it was Jackson off the corner. Claimed everything in the air, distribution really good, and 7 clean sheets, on leading the race for the Golden Glove as he was this time last season as well. We're so fortunate to have him, and as I say, long may this form that he's in at the minute continue as well. Mentioned then the 7 clean sheets wouldn't have been possible without the back four either during that run. Start with Young again, an 8, subbed off rightly once he got booked. Unfortunately, he misses the City game now, which I don't think anyone really, if you said at the start of the season that we'd have been gutted that Ashley Young is missing Man City away, people probably would have laughed at you, but he deserves so much credit for how he's turned his form around and how steady and solid and consistent he's been all season now. And to be playing at the top level at 39 is incredible, so he deserves huge credit and another good performance from him. 2 centre-halves well and truly back now, Tarkowski and Branthwaite. Like I say, 7 for the season, but I think it's 5 and 6 as well. Branthwaite looked much more like himself yesterday. I thought it was his best performance of the season so far. Tarkowski again led the side really well, dominant in the air, and I think they're both having really good seasons, and the stats are backing that up as well. So 8 out of 10 for both of them. Mykolenko next. I think over this run, he's probably been the weak point out of the back four. Very different on Sunday. He was immaculate defensively. He looked much more like himself from last season. Solid, vital interceptions, defended well in one-on-one scenarios, crucial headers at the back post as well when people are coming in. He was outstanding. Best display he's had probably since the derby last season. Much more like himself, and hopefully that carries on. 8 out of 10 for Mykolenko. On his 100th game for Everton as well. Onto the midfield next. Ghana, 7.5. Probably a bit harsh, but I didn't want to give out too many 8s. But a good performance from him. A little bit sloppy on the ball at times. Obviously nearly resulted in a goal. Good defending from Coleman in the second half. But, he's at his age to be as sharp as he is in winning the ball back and reading the game so well. He's been imperative for Everton in this defensive run as well. Of course, we'd like to be scoring more goals, but, with the way that we were defending at the start of the season, we had to correct that, and we have. And Ghana's been a huge part in that. So 7.5 for him. Mangala next. Really hope we sign him. Been very, very pleased with him. I'm a massive James Garner fan, and I think we're crying out for him, but Mangala would not be the one you drop, and he's robust defensively. He's tidy on the ball. He reads the game well. He's good in the air as well. He's good for a tackle. Positionally sound. He's very, very strong, and if we can get a deal sorted for him, if he carries on this form, it'd be great, because as I say, I think every Evertonian's been really impressed with him so far, and long may it continue. 7.5, possibly an 8, but again, I don't want to give out too many. But a good performance from Mangala again. Harrison next. I'm going to upset people here. I think it's a better save from Sanchez than it is a poorer miss from Harrison. Yes, he should do better. I think if he'd have scored the ones against Wolves the other week, no one would have complained about this one. He's a player. He looks to me a little bit devoid of confidence. Doesn't look himself like he was last year. But, he works super hard for the team. He gets back, helps his fullback out loads. But he doesn't really give you enough going forwards. And I think we'll come on to Jesper Lindstrom in a second. He should be looking to make that spot his own at the minute. So defensively, Harrison, dogged, put a shift in, but we need more from him going forward. But goalies union, I'm saying that's a better save than it was a poor miss. So fair play to Sanchez. And Die next, 7.5. So exciting to watch him. Could he have done better with that one? I'm not so sure. It's a great block from the lad, from the scramble. There was one maybe he could have got a shot off when Sanchez was off his line, but his decision making, that'll come with experience. But as soon as he gets on the ball, he's going to players, and he's got a 50-50 chance of beating him. He's the most exciting player we've had in years, and again, he's a great watch. But more importantly, in this Dyche system, I know people aren't a fan of it, but he gets back. He's not lazy. He doesn't wait on the halfway and then create things like we've seen in the past with players. He's incredibly diligent defensively. Helps Mykolenko out loads, and again, he's a real fan favourite, and rightly so. So another good performance from Ndai. Doucouré next. He's a frustrating watch as ever, but again, he's vital to how we play. So for me, it's a 7. Yes, he's poor on the ball. Yes, he gives it away in dangerous positions. Yes, he slows down counter-attacks, but at the end of the day, that's not his game. His game is pressing, getting on second balls, keeping us up the pitch, working really hard. And, we don't want to see that for 2, 3, 4 seasons, but right now we need to. We've got to accept it. We're in a position where, when he wasn't playing there, we were leaking goals because the press starts from him, and so hopefully we can get into a position where we're safe and we can play more exciting football. But you know what you're getting from Doucouré and Everton, a whole lot to that man as well. So 7 out of 10, for Dukes. Calvert-Lewin next. I actually thought he'd done okay. I was a little bit frustrated when he got taken off. I thought he should have stayed on. But to be fair, Beto done well when he come on. But a good performance from Dom. Looks a bit more like himself. It's a thankless task at times with the way that we play. It's a long ball up to him. Can he win the header? And half the time he's not got people running off him. So it is a difficult role for him, but I think he's more informed than he was when we were struggling. So it's much better from Calvert-Lewin and a 7, because again, I thought he worked hard on Sunday. Subs, Seamus next, 6. He was only on for 10 minutes or so, didn't put a foot wrong. Just nice to have him back. Nice seeing a man who, played more than 400 games for us. It's just great seeing him back in the side. Lindstrom next, 7. Again, short cameo, but Wolves, when he come on, I was really impressed. Was it Brentford, I think? I thought he had a decent game. He looks like he's growing more into the English game. He's much more physical than he has been. And again, he's working back more than he is, but he looks more likely to create than Harrison. I think Harrison, like I say, he's going to get back and work, but when he gets the ball, you don't really feel like anything's going to happen. Lindstrom, I'm not saying it does feel like that. It's not to the level of Ndai, but you feel like he's got a bit of magic, and he looks like he's playing with confidence at the minute, which for someone who hasn't scored in so long is a good sign, really, and hopefully he can make that role his own, because you can see how hard he's working. So again, big things from him in the second half of the season, I think. And then Beto next. Like I say, I was annoyed when he come on, but to be fair to him, he bullied their centre-halves. I wasn't a fan of their team, to be honest with you. I thought that, they were lacking in the physical side of the game, and Beto, he upset them a little bit in that role. So a 7 out of 10 for him in what was I wouldn't say a bore draw, but wasn't the most entertaining of the games. But despite that, a big point for Everton. Gets us in 16 points from 16 games. Yes, I know it's not what we want. We want to be pushing, high up the league. At the end of the day, Everton should be competing for trophies. That's what we expect. But right now, with the way the club has been run for years, we've got to be a little bit realistic with it. This isn't too bad of a start. It was some horrendous results, but fair play to Dyche. He's turning it round. 3 good results on the spin. Game at City, which isn't as worrying as it has been in recent years. We know they can turn it on, but the form that we're in, the players will be confident, and hopefully we can get a good result going into the last league game of the year against Forest. But as I say, fingers crossed, we can keep moving up the table and have a decent end to what's an emotional season at Goodison. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. Have a good one. Up the toffees. Thanks for listening.